Hey everyone. Every now and then you come across stories that just stick with you. They're powerful, they're inspiring, and they kind of reframe what you think is possible. Today, we're diving into a collection of those exact kinds of stories, all drawn from Inadu.
So let me just start by asking a really big question. What actually separates a dream from your day-to-day reality? Is it just luck, raw talent, or is it something else? The stories we're about to explore suggest the answer isn't found in some secret formula, but in the choices ordinary people make to do extraordinary things.
First up, we're going to talk about people who didn't just face their problems, they turned the tables on them completely. We're talking about individuals who looked at immense, life-altering challenges and somehow used them as fuel. They didn't just survive, they found a way to triumph.
And this quote from Dr. Kiran Kumari just says it all, doesn't it? She basically says that these limitations we think define us are actually opportunities to show who we really are. And she would know. After losing her sight at 19, she fought against all odds to become a doctor.
That exact same resilience, that same fight, you see it burning just as brightly in the story of Kavita Bishesht. Her journey starts with something truly unimaginable, but ends with a show of unbelievable strength.
So, after a horrific acid attack took her eyesight, it would have been so easy to be defined as a victim for the rest of her life. But Kavita refused that. She fought back, not just to piece her life together, but to build something new, something better. And here's the most incredible part. She started her own venture, and now she's creating jobs for other people. She literally turned her personal tragedy into a source of hope for her community. And this idea of just tearing down barriers continues with Burla Avanti. She had a dream from a very young age, and almost immediately, the world tried to tell her no.
Can you imagine being denied the chance to even go to school? That's what happened to Avanti. A school literally turned her away because she was blind. But she just wouldn't accept it. She fought for her spot, got in, and didn't just keep up with everyone else. She excelled. So much so that she secured a rank in the super competitive NEET exam and is now on her way to becoming a doctor. It's just incredible.
Okay, so we've seen how pure grit and determination can flip the script on adversity. But what about the power of a single idea? Let's pivot and look at how one person's vision can end up changing thousands of lives.
This quote really hits home. It describes something we've all done. You see a problem, you feel a little pang of sadness or pity, and then you just get on with your day. But this introduces us to someone who saw a problem and just couldn't move on.
And that young man's name is Saram Pavone. He saw the pain of hunger and helplessness around him and decided he had to do something. It wasn't some grand, complicated plan. It was just a simple, powerful mission to help. And the impact of that one mission, it's just mind-blowing. What started as one person's decision to act has led to over 1 million meals being served to people in need. Just let that number sink in. Over 1 million meals. That's the power of a single idea when you actually follow through on it. Now, let's go from a mission of compassion to a mission of vision. Let's talk about Vino Superaja, a designer who saw world-class potential in a small town that many others had overlooked.
See, Vino Superja didn't just want to build a fashion brand for herself. She wanted to build it with her community. She saw the incredible weaving talent in Bhavani and decided to connect it to the global fashion world. By structuring her entire business around supporting these local artisan families, she created this amazing, sustainable model that lifted up the whole town. It's a business idea and a community idea all rolled into one. All right, for our last section, we're looking at something you can only really describe as the unstoppable human spirit. These are people who prove that things we see as barriers, like age or failure or your life circumstances, are really just details. They don't have to define you.
How great is that line? It just immediately challenges everything we think about age and ambition. It's the perfect way to introduce a true champion who decided her athletic career would start when most people think it's long over. And that champion is Badu Vijayalakshmi. Her story is basically a direct challenge to anyone out there who's ever thought to themselves, it's just too late for me to start. And get this, she didn't just start competing after 60. She started dominating. We're talking more than 300 medals in all kinds of competitions, including 2 recent golds at the South Asian Federation Games. She isn't just participating, she is winning, proving that passion truly has no expiration date. Okay, our next story is about shattering a totally different kind of stereotype, one that so many people face. It's about Anju, a woman who felt, like many do, that marriage and kids meant her own career dreams were probably over. But then, she decided to challenge that assumption head-on. Anju didn't see her family responsibilities as an obstacle, just as one part of her life that she would balance with her ambition. And she did it. She managed her family while studying for some seriously tough exams and ultimately achieved her dream of becoming a DSP. It's such a powerful reminder for anyone out there trying to juggle it all.
So we've heard all these incredible stories of resilience, of vision, and of just pure, unstoppable spirit. But the whole point of sharing these stories isn't just to sit back and admire them. It's to see what they can teach us about our own. And this right here, this kind of summarizes the whole lesson, doesn't it? On the left, you have the common excuses, the reasons we tell ourselves why we can't do something. I'm too old. I have this disability. I've been through too much. Life's just too complicated. And then you look to the right, and you see the living proof that those are just barriers, not dead ends. Badaja Vijalakshmi, Burla Avansi, Kavita Bisht, Anju, they face those exact excuses and refuse to let them win. They aren't exceptions to the rule. They're examples of what's possible.
So we end up right back where we started, but maybe with a new perspective. What these stories prove is that the only thing really separating a dream from reality is the choice to act, no matter what. These were their stories. Now, the only question left is, what will yours be?